Expo.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Welcome into Business Builders on 93.7 The Ticket. Business Builders is where grit meets strategy and good ideas grow into great companies. Here are your hosts, Matt Warner and Rebecca Pearson.
All right. Good morning, Lincoln, Nebraska. There's snow on the ground. There's snow coming out of the air. It's awesome. This is the great snow, as I was saying.
I love a blanket of snow.
Yeah, but it's
so cool.
wet and fluffy, and it's not icy yet, and it's not terrible, and the roads aren't terrible yet. Although, shout out to Tristan for making it from Omaha. Thank you, Tristan's our producer. He made it. Hallelujah.
Yeah, without him, we would not have. Hey,
Yes.
so we're running a little behind, but
Yep.
but let's just talk. Let's just
Okay, wait a
let's
minute.
just go.
Who are we?
Oh, we
All
are.
I said is welcome, Lincoln.
You-
This is me and Matt. Okay, first of all, who are we? We're Matt and Rebecca with Business Builders.
We are.
We're 93.7 The Ticket.
And you can text in at
402-464-5685. And where can you watch us?
almost everywhere.
Yes.
Allo. I mean, we're literally
We're
everywhere.
literally everywhere.
Yeah.
You can download the app,
Yep.
and you can drop in chats. If
And
you
I
wanna
like the
chat.
little clips that they've been doing.
Yep.
They've been cutting some of our shows up and our
Yep.
little nuggets out there. I
Yep.
do love the golden nuggets. I always say that every time you listen, hopefully we can give you a little nugget to take back to your business. But
Right?
it's so cool. You know what? I was so nervous over this long weekend. I woke up yesterday and I'm like, oh, I'm running late for the show because I thought it was Saturday. And I was like, my stomach was in knots. And I'm like,
Right.
I got to get going. I'm going to
Right.
be like, and then I'm like, wait a minute.
It's thanks.
Wait a minute, it's tomorrow. And then I woke up this morning at like 5:30 in the morning. I'm like, wait a minute, is today Saturday or
I
what
know.
it is? These
I
long
kept
weekends.
having that too, but for me, it's more about the food in the refrigerator and whether I have to throw it out. Because on Saturday, it's kind of the day to throw stuff out that didn't make it.
Right,
So I
right.
kept looking. I was like, wait, no, that's still good. You know,
That's
It's
yeah.
just
One
like-
more day. One more day.
We're total Pavlov's dog. You know, this is like how you do it. Oh my gosh, it's terrible.
Well, I love it. I love it. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what happened this morning. So in business, all of you out there that are doing business, and it doesn't matter what business you're in. I was thinking about this. How much different is my business than from my friend Kevin Schneider? He's at Klein Williams and it's a law
Right.
firm. How much different really is each one of these businesses? And from a service business to a lawyer to a doctor to
To a bakery, radio
to
station.
and every single one of them has a hiccup at some point in time.
Right.
And I love to watch how calm you were this morning. So I was sitting out here this morning and you were in here trying to figure out, okay, right, the snow, obviously our producer's a little bit late, running a little behind. What do we do? And you got to
Right.
look
And
at
we
your
had
directions.
backup plans, right?
Yeah.
So he had a contingency plan, but his contingency plan fell out.
Right.
So then my contingency plan, which is great. So let me just tell the story because
Yep.
everybody will be able to relate to this. So I've been documenting how to run the radio station, how to do this for the
Okay.
morning. So I'm like, cool, great time to test out whether I can do it. I have no belief that I can actually get us on air, although I probably could in the end. But so I'm following the instructions, trying to set stuff up. I'm like, okay, no, this doesn't fit anything
Right.
that was described. And then, if you saw how I collect the information, the guys are like clicking everywhere and shouting stuff out at me, and I'm trying to write it down. Hilarious. So anyway, we've tested the instructions. So the learning already is that you need to test instructions that you write, because if you've never put them to the test, they may not be correct.
That's exactly right.
Which all the problem in this is me for sure, but it's a learning, right?
So what I've learned is this is a great opportunity for you to go back and probably have somebody else rewrite it that actually knows how to do it, and then have them hand it to somebody else and say, hey, between shows, can you just see if you can kick this thing up? And not like a guy like me, what you don't want you to. I by the way, I stay completely away from. I don't even want to go near that thing because it'll probably. Ask Dirk, our IT guy. I am not computer savvy at all. And even though I pride myself that I can do my emails really well and I can respond properly. And I've even figured out how to use AI to reread my emails to make sure I'm not being a jerk. So,
well, I am trying to learn how to do this because I live down the street, right?
Right.
And so
so you could just come in and be the producer.
To be backup. So today was a good test of that. And as I said, I managed to get the shades up, which is on a remote control.
I did love that. So,
that I installed. So.
Literally, Rebecca literally said, well, I got the shades up. Like the conk, done.
Anyway, all kinds of lessons already from the real world.
It is. So real quick, let's dive in. How about that volleyball team last night?
I know. Right?
Did they not take them to the woodshed? Oh my goodness!
To make up for the football team. So
yes.
Thank you, volleyball
was
players.
there a football game yesterday?
No, just last week when we played Penn State. If we can whoop your butt in one sport, we're taking
it all.
Because it was a killing.
It was awesome.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Mandy, for doing post game. You know, if you didn't know we're doing post game volleyball, make sure
I highly recommend you to listen to
Mandy
it. I think it's the best debrief of the volleyball.
Yep.
Yeah, well done, Mandy.
And she does it, 360, coach, player, fan, the whole 9 yards. So we're thrilled. So
now I love the jacket that Danny was wearing. I thought that was pretty cool. And apparently she got that at the beginning of the season and she was waiting. That takes patience.
That does.
Right. That's a good leader.
She knew.
Yeah.
She knew she was going to get to put that thing on.
I loved it. I love the whole idea. I love too that my family loves watching it. And their fan base is growing so big. I've got family that normally wouldn't watch volleyball that are just figuring out volleyball that are starting to watch it because of these girls. There's just something really special about this team. And
it is.
I love that. Now let's relate that to business.
Okay.
So get this. So when you read the book, Good to Great, it really talks about what makes a great business is when you start a business and you can hand it off to somebody else and you can exit the business and it still keeps growing at a pace that's manageable, which I always say that you need to grow at least a minimum of 2 or 3% over inflation. So if inflation's at 2.5%, you should be growing 2 or 3% no matter. No, that's bare minimum, right? And hopefully you're growing like more like 9, 10, 11%. If you grow 30, 40, 50%, that's a real nightmare. And by the way, business is a nightmare before it becomes the dream.
Yep.
Right. That's I tell people all the time. It's tough. It's hard.
It's anxious, right? It creates anxiety and
what we do, even with this radio show, you came into this and you were like, all right, let's go. And you had to dig in and you and your husband have done a great job of growing this thing. Obviously, I went to the old studio on 48th Street and this is so much better down here. I love this area down here. I love it that you're here. Plus, it's actually easier for me to get here than it was on the other one.
Great.
So with the interstate, but I love what you're doing. We
had this killer party on Wednesday morning, the early break guys, right? Had a Wednesday morning party. And all we did was do a shout out. We had like 200 people here.
Oh, wow.
6 to 9 in the morning, over the course of the 3 hours.
I love it.
Bananas, right? So we couldn't have done that in the old place. Plus, when you look at the vision we had, it was to be with the community and have a community, right? That's the great thing about radio. So for all you guys who are stuck at home or don't want to go out, right? We're here. We're here for you. You're listening to Business Builders with Matt and Rebecca and a little bit of sports in between, but we're here for you. So you love it when that happens.
I love it. And I've heard some leaders say that in a startup, when you're first getting going in your business, you got to have the 4 Ds. The number 1 D is desire. You got to have a desire. So you had a desire to move to a town where your husband is amazing on the radio, right? And you love business. So it was a perfect mix because he got to do what he loves, which he was a great coach. He understands the game or all games, including what's the fighting game?
UFC and WWE.
Yes. See, I'm a business guy. I'm just.
Okay, I got you.
But it's amazing how deep he can go into that. So now you're like, okay, we have a desire, and now what do we go? The second D is determination. If you're not determined to go out there and make a difference, and by the way, like we said earlier, you have to have a great product.
Yep.
I started our business as actually a netting business. That's what I wanted to do because I was on a job site down in Kansas City, working for Landscapes Unlimited, which, by the way, is one of the top golf course builders in the world, and they're right here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Mr. Kubley has built a wonderful business there, and they take care of a lot of families. But with that being said, I was on a job. My netting guy never showed up. I thought, well, I'm just going to put this net up myself. I can figure it out. And I did it. And actually, it was kind of fun. I got to go up in a lift. I felt like I was on a video game. I got to be out in the open. And I was like, you know what? I bet I could do this again. So we actually bid a job and I did the netting and we did it. that ultimately was in the back of my mind. If the next time I start a business, and by the way, this was like 3-4 years before I started my business, I want to do netting. Well, then I figured out fencing and netting kind of go together. So I ended up getting a fencing job. Now I have my desire to go out there and do the best net, and it was safety, right?
And why did you love it?
I loved it because I understood it so well. I understood that my job is to build something to protect the fans from getting hit with the balls.
Okay.
And it was so important that I thought it was a big part of a baseball field.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden the news started going on, and all these people were getting hit with balls and bats.
Right.
And I thought, oh my goodness, this thing is like catching on. Like this is a big deal. People are getting like critically injured. And then
you like caught the wave, right?
I did. I was right on it. So I thought, well, this is awesome. But the one thing I was missing was the dedication and how to set a goal, because I was so scared to start my business, because I failed in my first business, right? So when you're out there, you got to have that dedication. And then so you got desire, determination, dedication, and the last one is discipline and focus.
Okay.
And focus for me is extremely hard because my brain is all over the place. And I want to do everything all the time. And I always think I can do everything. I always make it too much, which I did learn later on, that sometimes you have to bite off more than you can chew, and you just have to figure out how to chew it. It's kind of a entrepreneurial mindset of let's do it all. But as I've matured in growing a business, and now that we have over 160 people, I've learned that, okay, we need to kind of stay in our lane and do what we're really good at, which by the way, what we're really good at is making your property or place safe, and making products for safety in sports. That's really what we focus on. That's our number one. Now, we do safety on data centers. We do safety on car lots. We do safety everywhere. But really, our main focus is whatever we can do to make a site safer, and including your backyard. So I always said, and here's leadership 101, folks. Some people out there think that if they're putting posts in the ground and putting pickets on it, they're building a fence, and that's a worker. That's a worker. But if you can inspire your people to think, hey, not only are we going to put posts in the ground, put pickets on it, but we're going to keep a child, a dog, maybe a cat. I don't know. I don't want to say cat, because cats climb the fences pretty easy, but we're going to keep those things safe, right? We're going to be protecting people, and their most precious commodity is their family. Right. So this fence not only keeps the bad people out, but it keeps the good people safe on the inside. And hopefully that when you're working with your people, whether it's mowing a yard or building a brick, I was talking to a bricklayer one time, and I said, what are you doing here? And he said, I'm laying brick. And his buddy next to him, he says, no, we're building a building that's going to educate children. And I was like, oh my, that's leadership 101 right over there. Yeah. This is a narrow mindset. He's just laying one brick after another. Right. This guy over here really thought, and this was at Kohler, actually it was at Kohler Middle School right over here on 48th Street. And I was set back to go, oh my goodness.
And I think that's the different, you need all those different thought processes. It explains exactly why we're here and call this a community space. Right. We're not a radio station. We're a community space. Right. We got a coffee shop. We got pictures up. People are bringing us stuff. We hang it up. Right.
And now what's up with the guitars, by the way?
Yeah, that's kind of DP's thing, And we've got a hood coming from Bree Fansteel's race car. Bree does our motorsports show. We're going to suspend that from the ceiling. We had someone here from Wednesday morning who is a former track athlete from the university, but from like years ago, wants to bring their jersey, right?
I love it.
It's a community space. So, but you need all types, right? Because if you're dreaming about the next thing for Empire at this stage of your life, although you would do the post and the digging,
right?
That's maybe not the best use of your talent.
No, definitely not.
Right? You could do it.
Right.
You would do it, and you did do it to get started, but now the best use of all the talent is the people that love doing that are great, that you love having on the team, and then you're off thinking about some other things. Is that fair?
Very fair. Okay. And you know what? And as you go through business, and I love it when people are like, oh, I've got to work on my business, not in my business. And I always say, no, you're wrong. Because that balance, it's literally like holding a bar of soap. If you squeeze it too tight, it's going to pop out. If you're not hard enough, it's going to slide down. So that bar of soap is so slippery, and that's the balance of knowing when to work in on business and on a business. And for all of you entrepreneurs out there that are trying to figure out, should I be working on it or in it? The answer is yes.
And I would say, even we were talking about the instructions this morning and trying to
Yes.
apply it, I did this many times, and at ExxonMobil we did this, but the managers would go sit, even if they weren't, because, we're a huge company, right? So we're not going to be writing instructions for the most part, the managers there, but we were required to sit and kind of shadow and check the instructions of people that worked for us. And what you see as a manager or a leader in that respect is things people are doing that they don't tell you make no sense, are too hard. There are other tools, right? You witness what's happening, and because you're thinking about it differently, you're like, why would this is terrible? Why, or this is amazing, and I now appreciate this position better, right? It can go any different way. But if you're not up close and personal like that, and I do that a lot here at the station, we're much smaller, so I'm always coming up asking and saying, okay, how can we improve that? How can we make it more seamless, right?
But you're really not that small. How many total people, counting me, do you have that affect the show?
Oh, yeah, like
50.
50, yeah.
That's not a small business.
Yeah,
that's a lot of people to manage. And luckily for you don't have to manage all 50, right? So what I was saying, so I broke this down, Rebecca. I've been working on this because I had a friend of mine, he asked me, he's like, how do you know when to make the next move? And I told him, I said, you really don't. You're just going to screw it up, and especially your first time, right? You're going through. But I started breaking it down, and when you're first starting your business, and you have two to five people, I think it's so hard to manage the money and to manage finding more work, because you're making the candle, you're burning the candle, you're selling the candle, you're marketing the candle, you're doing it all, and then so you're really just trusting that everybody's going to help you wear all the hats. Now, let's fast forward to where we're at today, where we're over 160. I literally had one of my teammates say to me, Wednesday afternoon, we had a final Friday on Wednesday because it was the last working day of the month. And he said, wait a minute, Matt, you're changing our structure, and you're telling us to be a braided rope, which we'll get to in a minute. But you're telling me to be a braided rope, and I'm only supposed to work on this business and this item. And I said, absolutely. He goes, wait a minute, you've always told us that we all have to wear all the hats and that we all have to do it. And I said, we did. Now we have to move from that, because we have so many talented people that we have to go. And now I need my leaders focusing on just one thing. So when you're with 2 to 5, you're really a startup, and you're really trying to figure out what it is. But here's my nugget for all of you that are at 2 to 5, and even maybe from 12 to 15. Those are my two sweet spots. That's really when it's the easiest to try to understand your culture and implementing good culture. If you don't start it, then it becomes harder the more people you have, if you don't try to get it started. Right. So if you want a cheat code right now, all of you entrepreneurs out there, if you're between that, I'm going to say 2 to 15 people, that's your best time to start your Monday morning meetings, or start pouring into your people, and start getting your people to read books by Jocko Williams, by Simon Sinek, Stephen Covey. Challenge your leaders to read those books and start implementing a culture that inspires others rather than command and controls others. And I'm big on this command and control thing right now, mostly because of Stephen Covey. And, I've got him coming in December. And I'm hoping that we have a great turnout, and I'm hoping we can inspire our community, right? Because that's my community give back.
Absolutely.
I always say that people talk about tithing in their church, which is good. I think that's great. But I like to tithe in my community. I really like, and this is my community. Lincoln, Waverly is my community. I relate to
that idea.
So trying to inspire others. And I have this idea in my head that if I can get 100 people inspired to go out over 2026, that is a community here locally, we're going to affect tens of thousands of people. So it's kind of like my dream in my head, right? Once again, that's how I go. But I'm going to tell you all, if you're between 2 and 15 people, please inspire your leaders to work on their mindset more than their skill. And if you can get them, because more than likely you're already pretty good at your skill of what you're doing, whether it's mowing or building a fence or running a radio station, change the mindset. And if you can change the mindset, you're going to have a better ROI, which literally it'll put money in your bank. Mindset, I believe, is more powerful than skill. What's your thoughts on that?
Right. Generally I agree with you, because it's kind of back to the right people in the right place. So if you can work on the mindset, then the mindset in your context and my context is these people want to develop their skill. So they're doing it on their own, right? So you are looking at kind of the foundational element to inspire someone to want to go improve their skill as a focus,
Right.
as opposed to focusing on, hey, go improve your skill, right?
Right.
So yes, I'm with you on that. I think there's sometimes an evolution of a company to try to find the right people that subscribe to that mindset of how to run a company, because there are some people that I think it's totally legit, that are less interested in being driven that way, that you still need in your company. And so it's just, but the mindset might still be.
So let me catch what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain people that don't necessarily want to change the mindset. They just want to work on their skill, which is brilliant. Because right when you said that, I thought of like 4 people in my mind that they literally don't want to do anything more than just go do their job every day and go home. And I think that's okay.
Right.
Hey, let's jump to a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about delegating responsibility. But let's take a quick break.
All right.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Byrne as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Brown's Shoe Fit has a Black Friday deal so good it's available for 3 days. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit from November 28th through November 30th for 20% off everything store-wide. Brown's has all your favorite brands, plus Lincoln's largest selection of Uggs, which make the perfect Christmas gift. And speaking of stocking stuffers, buy 3 Smart Wool socks, get 1 free during the extended Black Friday sale from November 28th through November 30th at Brown's Shoe Fit, 66th and Q in Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to Business Builders on 93.7 The Ticket. Here are your hosts, Matt Warner and Rebecca Pearson.
All right, welcome back. This is 93.7 The Ticket. Matt and Rebecca with Business Builders. It's a snowy Lincoln morning, but not too bad. We think it's all right. Don't forget that you can text in or call in at 402-464-5685. Every show is recorded, so if you miss one, go back and listen. We're always referring to previous shows and previous concepts. Anyway, we're on a roll this morning, Matt. I love the topic.
Yeah, and I will tell you, thank you to all my friends. Last week's show with the talking about culture and all that, a lot of my friends embrace that, and that's kind of my jam. So it's the easiest thing for me to talk about. And we were just saying, the morning show, they just talk about sports like it's no big deal. And so many times I'm like, how do they even come up with all that? And then here we are. We could totally talk about business. Yes, it's my thing. And half the time I don't even know sports people. They're like, oh, you know the quarterback of blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't even know. If you're not Tom Brady, I don't know who you are.
But a lot of people are listening to this that don't know who Simon Sinek is. So,
that is
but
true.
You and
that
I
is
do.
true.
Or
that
Stephen Covey.
Yeah, I love it.
This is our sports, guys. We hope you love the show. If you do, keep listening. We love it.
And I will tell you another author. If you're out there and you're listening to this, I believe it's Travis Hunter. I believe it's. I wrote it down here, sir. Or James Hunter. Okay. He wrote a book called The Servant. He was a military guy in the Marine Corps. A good book for all of you out there. If you're wanting to grow your business, those things that come in a bound pages with writing on them are really good.
Really good.
That's good stuff.
A lot of them have converted to audiobooks.
Yes.
So I'm going to throw one in because we can talk about the military forever. I have studied a lot of military because it's a great place to learn on a lot of things about business. But John Boyd, I forget the exact name of the book, but anyway, he created the OODA loop, which you won't know what the heck that is.
I don't know what that is.
It's all about things you will understand about kind of iterating on how you improve stuff. It's all about improvement, and it came from this guy, John Boyd. Anyway, okay,
I'm going to write that down.
Yep. We'll come back. We can talk about
I'm going to have to read
I'll
that.
look up the actual name because I can't. He wrote several books. I can't remember the actual name of the original book, but.
All right, so let's jump back into talking about growing your business. For all of you out there that are growing your business, I hope that there's some entrepreneurs listening to the show, but I want to talk about what happens when you get to that 15 to 30. And I want to talk a little bit about learning how to delegate because as a doer, delegation is so incredibly hard. And I wrote this down. I said, to delegate a task is good, but to delegate responsibility is great. And good is the evil of great. So think about that. When you're off delegating, so many people think that, I'm delegating great. Well, are you delegating? Hey, Rebecca, I need you to carry 6 pickets over to Michael. That's delegating a task. But delegating responsibility of, hey, Rebecca, I need this team. I need you to inspire this team to build the most beautiful wood fence that's on the block. That's delegating now and inspiring a responsibility, which is completely different than a task. So let's say you delegate someone, hey, I need you to rewrite all these directions to this book. That's a task. How I think as you get better at leadership, I like to delegate like this. Hey, I need you to inspire somebody that they can walk right in here and get the show going with no prior education. They can just walk in, beep, 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 and it's on. So the show must go on. Right. The show has to go on. And we were like 4 minutes late today. No big deal, right? Nope. But I think delegating a task is one thing, delegating a responsibility. And if you don't figure that out between that 15 and 30 people, you're going to get eaten alive because you're going to have so many people because when you delegate a task, you have to go back and give them another task. That's command and control. Now you're basically just saying, I'm going to control everything that we're going to do. And I'm delegating. Oh, I'm a good delegator. No, you're not. You're a horrible delegator. All you're doing is giving them a task to do, and they have to look for another task after that. So between that 15 and 30 people, I struggled with that because one, Jamie Scott and I, we can put up a net faster than anybody in our company. I still think we could possibly do it today, even though we have about 5 crews that are really good at it. And when I watch them, I'm like, ooh, they're pretty good. But we have enough grit inside of us that we would not want to lose, right? So we'd be like, yeah, we can do it faster. But I don't know if we can do it better than they can, because Rebecca, we have some amazing crews out there building nets all over the country. But with that being said, we had to learn how to say, they're not going to probably do it as fast as us, but we cannot grow and we cannot sustain our growth if we don't trust them and inspire them to do it the right way.
Right. And I think that, yes, and you're always working with the people at the end of the day. So people are inspired differently, right? We've talked about different types of talent. So when you're trying to inspire someone to think ahead, or to what's the next step, or to just do a better job, you've got to understand that human. Not everybody's inspired the same way. You don't delegate the same way.
Right.
And I think, this is one of these higher order thoughts of managing a company or even leading a company, that you have to understand how individual people actually are at the end of the day. And you're orchestrating this massive thing. And yes, between 15 and 30, you can't be everywhere.
No.
If you hire someone to watch and to be everywhere, you're being inefficient, because you don't need to do that.
Exactly.
But you may not always have the round peg in the round hole. So if you're continuing to struggle, either you're not understanding the individual well enough, or you don't have the right individual, right? There's not a lot to work with there.
Well, and finding that right individual is going to cost more. So here's what happens in an entrepreneur's mind. And please, I've been here 100 times. So if you're listening today and you're like, I can't afford the right person.
Yes, right.
And I always say, you can't afford not to get the right person.
So true.
Because people are worth what they're worth because of what they know and what they can get done. And I love it when Jim Rohn was saying that his mentor said to him one time, he said, well, they're only going to pay me $5 an hour. And his mentor said to Jim Rohn, and I'm a huge Jim Rohn fan, but he said, no, that's not all they pay. That's all they pay you, because that's all you're willing to do. That's all it is.
Exactly,
so go
right.
make yourself more valuable, and they'll pay you more. And I've been saying this for years. And if they don't, move on.
Right.
And that's part of that supply and demand. We got to have good people that run our business, that run our day-to-day tasks in our business, that represent us well. And by the way, if you wanted to hire me full-time, I'm gonna charge you quite a bit, or I'm not going to take the job because it's not worth my time.
And if you find yourself stuck in that, and it can be at any level of the company where I can't afford to hire the right person, here's my suggestion, because I've had that thought many times. You write down all the things that the right person would do that the current person is not doing, and put a value on that. Okay. Because people around that person may be pitching in, and so they're either not productive, right? You're losing productivity, or something's not happening that adds value to your company. Whatever that is, make the list of what the right person would do against the person that's currently in the role, and then say, what's that worth to me? It's possible you're not paying that person enough that's in the role, that they're the right person, but most people are not motivated by just the money, right? So it's not necessarily that. It's probably more likely that you don't have the round peg in the round hole, to be honest.
Or let's just look in the mirror. You're not inspiring them to do more.
Yes.
I mean, it's more likely it's your fault. In our business, I use the pointed finger thing. I use it all the time. Matter of fact, even on our corrective action form, now towards the bottom, we have a finger. Literally, we drew the finger for all of you that on radio. I've got one finger going out, one finger going up, and 3 going back to me. Well, that's the pointed finger. And we have that on there because I want to say, listen, I'm all about a corrective action form, but what are you doing to make that person better?
Sure. Yeah.
Go to work.
Great point. Yeah. You have to make sure that you are not the problem first, because you can control that.
And I think that 15 to 30 people is such a scary business. And that's when you really need to understand your revenue per person. And if, by the way, if you're in a service industry out there and you're below $250,000 per person, you're in big trouble. And you should be constantly trying to grow your revenue per person, which is a whole nother topic we can go into. And I challenge anybody to prove me wrong on this, because I've used this philosophy when I'm coaching my younger team members of, hey, where are we at revenue wise? And they know what I'm talking about on the RPP, and they'll be like, Yeah, we are understaffed. We need to probably, because if you're doing $750,000 per person, then you're probably working your people to the bone, and you need to get them some help.
Right.
But if you're growing, you're going to be stretching that number out. So use your revenue per person, but between that 15 and 30. Hey, let's jump up to between 30 and 50 people. This is a scary time, right? And you're on the pinnacle. Once you cross 50 people, all the rules change with the government.
Right.
So you have to be very careful. And as you're going there, you have to start implementing processes and procedures, and you have to start, you really have to delegate responsibility in a great way. But here's what I think is the key factor that helped me when we jump between 30 and 50. I really focused on finding the absolute most brilliant minds I could that didn't think like I thought. I wanted to surround myself with people that would push me out of my comfort zone and think completely different. And as I look around at my leadership team, every single one of them is so different, but they all accent my weaknesses. And that's what really helped us blow past the 50 people. Now, I will tell you, we got to about 47 people, and we were on pins and needles because you have to have different, the labor laws are different. You have to have different regulation. You have to provide different things. You have to provide. So, and then once you get up to 100 people, it changes again. It even gets more strict.
And now there's additional costs, right? What comes with that is additional costs to manage all that and put that in place.
And with addition, and this is super exciting. For those of you out there listening, here's the most beautiful thing. You can use technology now more than you ever could in the past. Technology is available. So when you want to scale, which is different than growing, and you want to get that RPP up, you have to implement technology. You have to have softwares that help that are using automation. You have to have better spreadsheets that are tracking your profit and loss ratios. You have to have a better set of books. You have to have a better software that manages your equipment and your GPS tracking and telematics, which is a popular word out there right now that everybody loves to talk about. But you have to start implementing those things once you get over that 40 to 50 people, because you can't keep up. There's just no, well, you don't even want to keep up. You just let the technology work for you, and don't be scared of it, which is scary as a guy like me. That's I'm that in that generation where I didn't have a computer in my house.
Right.
Very few of my classmates had a computer in their house. Now everybody had. So like my son Ben and his friend Carson and other guys in our business, they're like, give me more software. We want to use it. And I'm like, well, can't we just do it this way back here where we write out a form on a piece of paper? And they're like, no, Dad, we cannot do that. We got to get moving. But up to that 50. And if you're at that 50 point, here's one more nugget for you. Do not be scared to get a coach. That outside voice coming in. And luckily for me, I had some mentors in the industry, one in California and one in the Carolinas. Both, they have a business in North and South Carolina that would take my phone call whenever I called them. So when we were going to buy our first piece of property, I called my mentor. I'm like, hey, here it is, blah, blah, blah. What do you think? And I gave him the price, which he's in California, right? And he's in Los Angeles.
Oh my.
So he was like, wait a minute. How much is that for 3 acres? And I told him, and he's like,
I could buy a postage stamp here for that.
He literally said, if you don't buy it, I will. And I'd be happy to lease it to you, Matt. And I was like, uh-oh. So I immediately called the bank and I said, I got to make this happen. We got to go. That was scary for me because we were at about 36 people about that time. And I was scared. So get a coach, find a mentor, find somebody that's going to push you out of your comfort zone and keep you going. Because once you blow past 50, and if you got the right people, getting to 75 and 80 is super easy. I think that was the easiest growth that we did, was between 50 and about 80. It really went fast.
Can you relate it to having kids? Because I don't have a whole family of kids to relate this to, but is it that, after the third kid, it's pretty easy to add 4 and 5?
Yeah, well, they all start helping. You know
I've
what?
had 3 dogs, so I know that by the time you get to 3 dogs, it's whatever.
Yeah, you got it all figured out.
Yeah,
and they
exactly.
entertain each other, right?
Yes.
Even on dogs, they do take.
And they run in a pack, and you know, there's some kind of momentum, and yes, yeah. And you have a culture for sure by then, right? You've got a very strong culture that you're worried about,
right? Well, and that's why it's important back at that 10 to 15 that you're implementing that culture and you're getting that started, and you don't let it slip, because it'll constantly slip on you. Our culture in Kansas City slipped on us. It was a mess, and I was embarrassed because here I am. I pride myself in being the culture guy in our community of the fence industry and netting industry. I looked in the mirror and I went, "Oh my goodness, our culture's horrible." Well, what happened here? How does this even happen to us? As passionate as we are about our culture, and we had to go down there and we had to change the mindset, and we had to actually let somebody go because they weren't going to buy into our culture, even though we thought they would. They didn't, and then we had to hire somebody different that was 100% into our culture, and now our culture is just taking off like a rocket ship.
One person can make.
One person. I will tell you, oh my goodness, entrepreneurs. If you are having, here's a nugget.
Then we're going to a break.
If you are having multiple conversations about one person and how they're ruining your culture, you need to make a move quickly. All right, let's go to break on that. I love it. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, it's Carly from Boyd Farm Outfitters. Farmers, you need to know about Green Eye Spot Spray. With Green Eye, we replace your existing spray boom with a brand new aluminum boom equipped with camera technology that identifies and sprays only weeds and not your crop. The boom comes with 2 spray lines so you can still broadcast residual herbicide while you're spot spraying weeds that are up. Green Eye users in Nebraska are saving a ton of money on herbicides, but that's just the beginning. Learn more at BoydFarmOutfitters.com. That's BOECK FarmOutfitters.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Fall is officially here, and Brown's Shoe Fit has just the right style and comfort your feet deserve. Stop in to see a wide selection of all your favorite brands, including Brooks, Hoka, Echo, Keen, and many more. At Brown's Shoe Fit, they take the time to measure your feet to ensure proper fit. They also have the largest selection of Uggs and Hokas in Lincoln. Brown's Shoe Fit, 66th and Q.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zip line gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey guys, it's Carly from Boyd Farm Outfitters. Farmers, you need to know about Green Eye Spot Spray. With Green Eye, we replace your existing spray boom with a brand new aluminum boom equipped with camera technology that identifies and sprays only weeds and not your crop. The boom comes with 2 spray lines so you can still broadcast residual herbicide while you're spot spraying weeds that are up. Green Eye users in Nebraska are saving a ton of money on herbicides, but that's just the beginning. Learn more at BoydFarmOutfitters.com. That's BOECK FarmOutfitters.com.
You're listening to Business Builders on 93.7 The Ticket. Here are your hosts, Matt Warner and Rebecca Pearson.
Which might be meant to be.
Hey, we're back. Wow. The show, as always,
It goes
by
so fast.
too fast, and we're having fun. We just watched a guy cross the street on a scooter in
An
the
electric
snow.
scooter.
An electric scooter in the snow. I'm not sure how that works.
I'm impressed.
We have so much to talk about. All right.
How do you text in real quick?
402-464-5685, or you can call in always, and you can always drop us a chat on YouTube, any of the social medias. And don't forget, if you missed a show, go back and listen to us on the easiest way to do that is probably YouTube. All the podcasts are on the website too. I think the easiest thing.
I use X once in a while if I want to go back
You
and
can
catch a
scroll
clip.
back.
It
you have more
something.
control on YouTube. So if you want to like fast forward through some parts
Right.
or commercials and things like that,
I love it.
Easier to do on YouTube. Anyway, we're
This
glad
is
that you're
a
listening to us
community
this
a
morning.
community show
It is.
for everybody in sports and a little bit on business.
Well, and sports is business, so
It really is.
Yeah.
Hey, so we were talking about up to 50 people, and that's and the rules change. I'm just gonna, because this last segment's so fast and it's going, I'm gonna jump between 50 and 100 people. When you get between 50 and 100 people, you're really starting to hum now, and you're really in a different kind of mindset. And if you don't change and start thinking like a CEO, whether you are or you aren't, or you want, I hate that acronym. I don't like it. I actually say, if you're going to call me a CEO, I want to be the Chief Energy Officer. And so I've changed that a little bit, but I'm the founder. I got it started, and I want somebody else to, I want to try to give as much credit to our team always as we can. And I feel like when you're the CEO, you're taking it on that you're the end all be all. And I hate that mentality. I used to have that when I was younger, and I'm doing everything I can to stay away from that mentality. I want to give all the credit to my team. And I want to take very little, if any, to myself. But once you get between 50 and 100 people, it's super important that you learn how to promote officers, give them power to act without you getting upset with what they do. You should be more upset if they don't make a decision at all than whether if they make a bad decision. And that's hard to understand, but you need to sit in the back of the room, not in the front of the room now. You need to really make sure that you're speaking last and you're speaking softly. Because if you're up there yelling and screaming and everything, it becomes mute to your team, which with my energy and who I am, when I walk into the room, I want everybody to know, hey, I'm here, let's go. But I've done it now where I come in the room and I set the energy tone, and then I go to the end of the table. I like to sit on the end of the table, and I like to try to be as quiet as I possibly can. Now, right now, a whole bunch of my people are listening to the show, and they're all rolling their eyes going, he's never quiet.
Does that.
He's never. But what they don't understand
he's trying.
is that I am trying, but I'm way better than I was in 2009 when I first started, because I was a command and control, scream and yell, what the hell are you thinking kind of guy all the time. And I was like, why can't you get this right? And instead of saying, how can we do this better? And I've always said that if you start your disciplinary action with why, you're probably going to put a wall up in their mind. But if you can start it with how do we get better? How can we figure this out together? How can we solve this riddle? And you know me, I don't like problems. We have riddles.
Yep.
And if you start with how, it's such an easier way, but you have to train your mindset. And that's why I'd love to just make sure we put a bow on today's show that really the whole thing that I want to tell people is mindset is more important in my mind than skill. Skill is teachable, and you can find people that can do that. But it's hard to find people with the right mindset to grow your business and to make sure that they understand that the profits that we make aren't going to go to buy me a new jet. Mm-hmm. They're going to go to keep building the business, and we're going to keep we're going to do compounding interest. We're going to just keep putting back into this business, and that's how we're going to get you to where we want to go.
And that's true, I think, and to consider that companies are different over time. So the mindset, there's probably some core principles that never change. And then there's some other things that change over time because of size or focus or the way you're growing or whatever, right? There are different reasons for doing that. Same as the founder eventually steps back in many cases and lets the people do it. These founders understand that the people make the difference.
Well, on that note, we're out of time once again, but I really want everybody to understand that my passion for entrepreneurs, and if anybody out there ever needs help, that I'm an open book. I just had two guys that are partnerships that are doing a startup fence company in Waverly, and they were scared to come talk to me. And my people actually said, no, you need to come talk to Matt because he actually wants you to win. Believe it or not. He thinks differently. He knows that high tides raise all ships. So he needs you to be successful and make sure that you're bidding things properly. But ultimately, please, people, pour into your leaders and encourage them to share responsibility and not a task. With that, the show's over, Rebecca.
This is Business Builders. We're out. Matt and Rebecca. See you next week.